This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
Gotta find my place of honesty. Lord knows it won't come naturally. You'll find me here, shoulders deep, at the end of my abilities, and cloaked in obscurity. Your body tries to hide.
MALSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, yes, it's the Rated R something or another. No doubt there, as we are talking, as we are hanging and doing all the fun stuff that we get to do. No doubt about that one. Anyways, today is Tuesday, January the 21st of 2025, day 300. No, it's not. It's day 21st of the year and only 344 days left to go. We are broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM and hanging out with our friends and colleagues over there.
Radio Big. USA, Canada, UK.
Oh, yes, that's it. That's what we've been doing. We've been hanging, we've been banging, we've been doing all kinds of fun stuff as we are doing our thingo in the world. No doubt about that one. Anyways, how have you been? How was the last little bit been? Yesterday, a federal holiday, Inauguration Day, a lot of stuff going on as it was a combination of stuff that was happening inside of this world. Anyways, so as we are hanging out today, well, if you're new here, hello. If you're old here, hello. Let's talk about what we do and all that fun stuff. Our show consists of safety in the news and safety. Just kind of where we go, hang, and do all of our stuff. So as you get to hang out and do the thing, if you want to interact with the show, callinradio.com. Callinradio.com will get you moving and grooving inside of here, inside of this cluster that we do stuff in. No doubt there. So once you get into it, Call In Radio, once it's set up and we're doing our giggo, here's how it goes. You have the opportunity to video, audio, and text message right inside of that. Some people will go, well, why don't you just talk, or why don't you just look at the stuff when we're talking about it inside of the world when it comes to
social media? I just don't
do it. I just don't do the social media stuff. A lot of stuff that we don't do on that end. So there you go. Anyway, so why don't we do this real quick? Why don't we start talking about what the hell was trending in the overnight, just in case you were hiding somewhere under a rock and didn't see what was going on.
Is what was trending. Rated R Safety Show.
Oh, Okay, so as we are talking about the trends of the ends of the end, notable and noteworthy, all the details of Inauguration Day, plus the nation's hottest housing market and slumping sales of a bubble beverage. We'll talk about that. Also, Matt Healy may or may not penned a song about a relationship with Taylor Swift. Josh Gad almost had a role in Avatar, and Steamboat Willie gets a scary makeover. And we'll talk about the details about that and the casting calls. Also, monarchs and from around the world send well wishes to President Donald Trump. So we'll talk about all that stuff. Was that yesterday? I mean, what the inauguration was yesterday? A lot of stuff for sure. So let me see. I was looking at inauguration speeches. Did not realize that thing was 31 minutes. That's a lot of real estate to give up. So we'll talk about how we're going to do some of that stuff and talk here this morning. And then what else? So that's it. That's a lot of the stuff that's going on. Of course, we have the professional broadcasters waiting for us on the other side because you know how they say loving you has to take me to the other side. So we have them waiting on the other side here. And they're going to talk about everything that's going on, so don't worry because we'll have that for you. Outside of that, what else do we have going? I think we're going to have a lot of election stuff today. I just really do. So if you're ready, I'm ready. We'll go down the journey together because there's a lot of stuff to cover, little time to do so. So let's go ahead and do that ahora mismo in regards of what's going on inside of the world of the news.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. US President Donald Trump has pardoned around 1,500 people accused of criminal activity in the riots on Capitol Hill on January the 6th, 2021. The president also signed an executive order pulling the US out of the Paris Climate Change Accords and many others. Benji Hire reports from Washington.
Among the measures, a withdrawal from the Paris Climate Accord, an international treaty aimed at tackling global warming. Next, an order ending new federal regulations or hiring, except to the military. Another rescinding dozens of Biden administration policies, and more pertaining to freedom of speech and ending what the president calls the weaponization of government. Mr. Trump then pardoned many of the defendants convicted after storming the heart of American democracy 4 years ago in a bid to subvert the peaceful transfer of power last election. He refers to those prisoners as hostages. He also met with some of the families of the actual hostages still held in Gaza, following a recent ceasefire deal for which he takes credit.
President Trump held off unveiling China-specific tariffs on his first day in office and said he would be having meetings and calls with Chinese President Xi Jinping. From Hong Kong, Laura Westbrook.
In China, state media mostly played down Donald Trump's inauguration, with state news agency Xinhua instead headlining Chinese President Xi Jinping offering non-Communist Party organizations greetings for the coming Lunar New Year. Trump's inauguration was carried further down the website with a simple headline. China only got one mention in Donald Trump's inauguration address on Monday, and that was to suggest that Chinese operations in the Panama Canal constituted a degree of ownership of the Central American waterway. However, Trump did say he certainly could put tariffs on China if they failed to approve a deal to sell TikTok to a US company. Laura Westbrook, Hong Kong.
President Trump said at the inauguration he hopes he can be a peacemaker. This as the war in Ukraine continues. From Kiev, Ross Cullen.
Although he didn't mention Ukraine in his speech, the new president did say that he wanted to be measured by the wars we end, that he hopes his proudest legacy will be as a peacemaker, and he criticised the, quote, unlimited funding to the defence of foreign borders. Donald Trump also told reporters after his inauguration that he believes Russian President Vladimir Putin is destroying Russia by failing to reach a peace deal on Ukraine, though the new president said he would have to speak to his Russian counterpart before announcing any concrete measures to try to end the war. Ross Cullen, Kyiv.
The UK government is setting out more details about the public inquiry into the Southport murders of 3 girls at a Taylor Swift-themed dance class. Axel Raducabana pleaded guilty on Monday, and it's emerged he had a history of violence and had been repeatedly referred to counter-extremism programmes. From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks. Today, the view of one Trump insider on the birth of the president's second administration. Joe Grogan is the former director of the U.S. Domestic Policy Council and served as an assistant to President Trump during his first term in office.
Donald Trump won the majority vote, and even after the election, he has garnered a lot of goodwill. Some of Biden's behavior after the election has been widely condemned. Americans are ready to get back in the economic growth, prosperity, confident game and stop apologizing and stop managing American decline, stop investing in government regulation and top-down control of our economy. You saw people watch it on TV, saw American titans in tech and artificial intelligence seated behind the president, standing behind him when he gave his, when he took the podium. So American business wants to get back in the business of being proud of our economic activity. American workers want to get back in the business of growth, and Americans don't want to apologize anymore for our country.
President Trump on Monday started signing a host of executive orders to transform the nature of the United States. Many of them will be immediately legally challenged, and it remains to be seen how his administration will navigate moves by the courts to stop the president's efforts in their tracks. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
To recap the top stories, US President Donald Trump's pardoned around 1,500 people over the riots on Capitol Hill in 2021. President Trump held off unveiling China-specific tariffs on his first day in office. Ukraine's welcoming President Trump's insistence he can be a peacemaker. And the UK government setting out more details about the public inquiry into the Southport murders of 3 girls at a Taylor Swift-themed dance class. That's the latest feature story news. Ollie Barrett reporting.
Listen to us for the radar safety show. Self-upload on our airwaves. Only on Safety FM.
I know you all want to hit your revenue targets and get the launch done. Well, making sure that your team knows what to do and how to do it is a huge part of it. So I'm sure that you all do different kinds of training, and I'm willing to bet you probably use PowerPoint, Zoom, etc. I also bet that when you get someone droning on about a topic using these tools, you probably zone out. And your team does too. I mean, it is a reality of what happens. That's why I strongly recommend a tool called Articulate 360. That makes it so easy to whip together interactive, really beautiful e-learnings that really engages people and gets info across. You can create short-form micro-learning, super interactive courses, and really whatever you need when you're in their site. Then with a couple of clicks, you can send it out and check on it and see the progress of your team. Your team can also check back on the training anytime they want in a super simple portal. Literally everyone uses Articulate. Over 120,000 companies and all 100 Fortune 100 companies. Check it out at articulate.com/360 to start a free trial. That's articulate.com/360 to start your free trial. And don't forget to tell them that I was the one that sent you there.
Jay Allen in the morning, weekdays on Radio Big.
Let me talk to you real quick. What is HelloFresh? With HelloFresh, you get farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. Spend your time this month shopping for gifts and sipping cocoa, not stuck at the checkout line. Sign up for HelloFresh and get everything you need to whip up a fresh, tasty meal delivered to your door. Just choose your recipes, select a delivery date, and relax knowing that dinner is on its way. HelloFresh has over 45 recipes and more than 100 seasonal add on items to choose from every week, so it's easier than ever to find something everyone will enjoy. Go to HelloFresh.com/SafetyFM free. That's HelloFresh.com/SafetyFM free to use the code SafetyFM free for free breakfast for life. One breakfast item per box while subscription is active. That's free breakfast for life at HelloFresh.com/SafetyFM free with code SafetyFM free. And don't forget that this is why HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit.
Listen at your own risk. Rated R Safety Show.
Hey there, Jay Allen here with Safety FM, where we just don't talk about safety, we live it. And when it comes to safeguarding your future, there's no better partner than Acorns. This part of the show has been brought to you by Acorns, and a powerful tool that makes saving investing easier than ever. We all know that investing can feel overwhelming, especially with busy lives and no time to dive into the nitty-gritty of financial markets, but Acorns changes the game. With Acorns, you don't need to be a financial expert or have a hefty sum of started. In fact, Acorns lets you begin with just spare change. All about those small steps, small investments today that can build into something much bigger over time. Acorns recommends that the expert build portfolio designed to fit financial goals. Then it does the heavy lifting for you by automatically investing your money. It's like having a financial advisor in your pocket working around the clock to help your money grow. So why wait it over to acorns.com/safety or download the Acorns app and take that first step towards securing your future today. Remember, in the world of safety and investing, small actions today can lead to mighty outcomes tomorrow. Paid non-client endorsement. Compensation provides and positively promote Acorns. Investing involves risk. Acorns Advisors, LLC, and SEC registered investment advisors. View important disclosures at acorn.com/safetyfm. At Safety FM, we're all about making smart decisions on the job and in life. So take control of your financial future. This is Jay Allen reminding you to stay safe, stay smart, and invest in your tomorrow. Radio Big. Oh, yes, hanging out here on Radio Big, 16 minutes past the top of the hour as everything is going down. Yes, everything's going down as we are hanging out and talking and moving and grooving and doing everything. So, how you doing today? Like, seriously, how are you doing? Because that's the questions that people need to ask. I mean, that's what's going on. You know, I don't know if you had a 3-day weekend or how exactly that was all panning out from your neck of the woods. I mean, we were going to be here yesterday. And then all of a sudden it was like federal holiday, inauguration. I mean, of course, we had to watch news stories after news stories because we were trying to figure out what exactly the new President Trump, would do on the first day. So it was interesting to see. I mean, and you kind of heard some breakdown there of some of the stuff that was happening. Because it wasn't happening. I mean, let's not lie there. A lot of stuff. Little time, and we were trying to figure out everything that was going to happen next, because that's just kind of the way that we look at stuff. So once all that stuff went down, then it was like, okay, this is midday, blah blah. So there was a lot of hours of we'll call it TV watching. Some people would go as far as calling it news gathering. So that's what happened. So let's get into it, because this is going to be this is going to be a talking point over the next little bit. There is no doubt there. President Donald Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance took their respective oaths of office on Monday. In the inauguration address, Trump promised the golden age of America starts now. Almost immediately upon taking the oath of office, the CBP One app, which allows asylum seekers the ability to enter the United States by circumventing the typical immigration process, went offline and the future entry appointments were canceled. So a lot of stuff there going off right at the beginning. So some people were in shock about that, of course. So was that the right one? Was that the right thing to do? I don't know. A lot of people liked it. A lot of people didn't like it. So it depends on what category you want to fall under as we are talking about it. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a politician. That's the great part about the great thing about this. We talk about stuff. I have no clue what was the right thing to do. So is it circumventing, Or is it one of those things where it was a different way of entry? Also, let's see. In an awkward moment, the backing track of "America the Beautiful" to be sung by Carrie Underwood started and stopped. And a few uncertain seconds, Underwood called the crowd to sing along with her, and she performed without an instrumental backing. Some other odds and ends of the day: Trump's Oval Office will use a sunburst pattern rug used by Ronald Reagan. Real Clear Politics reported that Susan Crabtree boasted a Secret Service sources told her that while the temperature were cold, the inauguration, let's say, was moved indoors because of security concerns. Trump later denied that was the case. This is while he was speaking to reporters from the Oval Office. Also, a refreshed White Office website went live right around the time Trump took oath. The American Federation of Government Employees filed a lawsuit against the Department of Government Efficiency just minutes after Trump was sworn in. The suit alleges that the extra government organizations need to comply with certain transparency and disclosure requirements as an advisory group to the president. Also, former Vice President Kamala Harris flew home to California on the flight operated by an all-female Air Force flight crew, the first time the C-33 has been staffed entirely by women. Amid the inaugural festivities, the Senate unanimously confirmed Marco Rubio as Secretary of State, and we can get the full rundown here in just a bit, but a lot of stuff going on in very little time. It seemed like there was a lot of movement in regards of when you were listening or looking at one thing. By the time that you got the information down, we were moving on to the next. So that's what we had going on. Also, on the heels of the news, the wine sales have slumped year over year. Another report suggests that champagne isn't faring particularly well either. France exports of the bubbly beverage dropped 10% year over year. It's the second straight year of the decline, and an industry analytics firm says the variety of factors contributed, but most likely, the global mood and doesn't want to celebrate. The report also says the film, and I'm going to screw this up. Comité Champagne cites inflation conflicts around the world, economic uncertainty, and a political wait-and-see attitude in some champagne's biggest markets. Even domestic sales in France fell 7%. This is according to CNN. So, there you go. A lot of stuff. Anyways, following reports of an awkward season of favorite flick, The Brutalist used AI technology in post-production. Director Barry Cobra defended the practice, even as some Hollywood insiders expressed worry of the expansion of the technology might eliminate more jobs in the production process. Corbett insists the technology was used specifically to refine accents of Adrian Brody and Felicity Jones, who had dialogues in Hungarian. They worked for months with the dialect coach to perfect their accents, but Corbett says that he adds a specific program called Respeecher that was used when editing the foreign language dialogue, specifically to refine the vowels and other letter accuracy. Deadline reports that using technology in the case actually created jobs rather than cut them in post-production. This is according to Deadline. So I don't know. It gets interesting. That's for sure. So is it the right thing, the wrong thing? I mean, I don't know anymore. It's like, if you've looked at the new version of ChatGPT, it's pretty interesting, some of the stuff that it can do. No doubt there. So just some things to talk about. Also, a copy of Bob Dylan's Old Will is hitting the auction block. Moments of Time, an old copy of the legal document from 1975, which features signatures from Robert Dylan. In the will, Dylan leaves his home and $50,000 to his brother David Zimmerman and provisions for children, of which he had 5 at the time. The asking price is $27,500, according to TMZ. What else are we seeing? Steamboat Willie is getting a scary makeover. The Steamboat stars David Howard Thornton as a killer mouse, offering a terrifying twist to the classic character. The flick's expected to hit theaters this month. This is according to The Sun. So there you go. There you go. There you go. There you go. A lot of stuff. So, if you're ready, let's talk some more. A full rundown on Trump's day one. Taylor Swift might get a taste of her own medicine, and the big movie role of Josh Gad almost landed, and the death of the King Louis, the 16 on the date in history. We'll talk about some of that stuff coming up. Also, China's foreign minister indicated on Monday that it would allow TikTok parent company to sell off some or all of the app to move. The movie said that would be forbid. Yep. So the announcement follows the weekend's chaos, beginning with the Supreme Court ruling upholding the ban that Donald Trump has promised to renegotiate. In an ambiguous weekend statement, the president said, "My initial thought is a joint venture between the current owners and the new/owners where the U.S. gets 50% ownership of the joint venture set between the U.S. and whichever purchaser of their choice." In any case, the months-long hand wrangling and hypnotizing about the app's fate ended up culminating in a brief 20-hour or so period where stupid dance videos and Wine Mom's housekeeping tips were unavailable before coming up back online. I mean, I will tell you, I was amazed looking at the other social media platforms of people losing their shit about TikTok being down. And a lot of people, making some very weird, strange references about control and government and all this other stuff that was coming about. Like, I thought it was a national security thing, and people were like, "No, you're trying to take away my rights." I mean, I was slightly confused in some of the stuff that was going on. So there you go. Also, Buffalo, New York tops the list of the hottest housing markets in the country. Among the nation's 50 most popular cities, the average home there is $223,812, well below the national average of $356,000. In an analysis by online real estate firm Zillow, Buffalo ranked as the best across a variety of metrics, including forecasted price increase, speed of sales, and the city's relative job and population growth. Indianapolis, Providence, Rhode Island, Hartford, Connecticut, and Philadelphia rounded the top 5, according to Zillow. Sounds all way too cold for me. That's all I'm saying.
You are listening to a radio god. What? This has to be an error. That host is not a radio god. Anyways, this is the Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
This is the Rated R Safety Show. Okay, what else? Terry Ackrey, a Florida woman, was a passenger seat of a friend's car when a cop pulled her over this weekend for a traffic stop. The officer's drug-sniffing dog detected something amiss when the officer asked for permission to search the car. The driver obliged and said nothing illegal should be inside. And while there is nothing illegal about carrying a bag that says definitely not a bag full of drugs, it is illegal to use such a bag to carry a bunch of meth and drug paraphernalia, as Miss Ackrey's case. She was arrested and hit with a smartering of drug charges just 2 weeks after being arrested on January the 6th for nearly the identical charges. So hold on. You had a bag that says definitely not a bag full of drugs? Explain that one to me. Like, seriously, that is very interesting. Anyways, that came out of Brevard County. So there you go. What else do we got? John Sykes. Sykes. He has died. The guitarist played for the bands including Whitesnake, Thin Lizzy, and the Tigers Payne Tang. He had a brilliant career. He had been battling cancer for several years now. He was 65 at the time of his passing. What a time, man. What a time of weird stuff going on. Should we take some parting shots? Let's take some parting shots. Take a listen to this. Parting shots. Former President Joe Biden issued a flurry of preemptive pardons before leaving office on Monday. With about 20 minutes to go to the inauguration, the White House announced pardons for former President Trump's siblings and their spouses. The blanket forgiveness followed pardons announced on Monday morning that included Anthony Fauci and General Mark Milley and members of January 6th committee. The preemptive pardons for his family, Fauci and Mike, date all well back to January 2014. An Associate Press report reads, largely skeptical of the 11th hour move, And with the acceptance comes a tactic and admission of guilt or wrongdoing, even though those who have been pardoned have not formally been accused of any crimes. But wait, Fauci tells ABC News' John Carl, I have committed no crime. You know that, and there's no possible grounds of any allegations or threat of criminal investigation or prosecution for me. Worth remembering, during the 2020 transition period, amid rumors of Trump issuing preventive pardons, Biden told CNN, it concerns me in terms of what kind of president this sets as for the rest of the world at us as they look at us as a nation and the laws of justice. Even so, after Biden explained the issuance of the pardon should not be taken as an acknowledgement they engaged in any wrongdoing, nor should the acceptance be misconstrued of an admission of guilt of any offense. So there you go. Lot of stuff going on there. So let's see. Are we ready for the next portion? Because there's a lot of stuff. So we're probably gonna have to look at a couple of different things. Don't think we'll do our normal formalized main story today. Let's just be realistic on how I think this is gonna go. So with that being said, let's look at it from this standpoint. We're going to go through the whole rigmarole of stuff that I was able to find because I think that's going to be important as we are hanging. So let's do this. In a public event at Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C., President Donald Trump signed a series of day one executive orders. Recession of the 78 Biden-era executive action orders or presidential memorandum. Pausing all new federal regulations. Freeze on all hiring on all federal hiring excluding the military. Requiring federal workers to return in person to work immediately. Directing all federal agencies to address the cost of living crisis. Withdrawing from the Paris Climate Treaty and a letter to the United Nations explaining the measure. Ordering the restoration of freedom of speech and preventing government censorship on free speech going forward. Ending the weaponization of government against the political adversaries of the Biden administration. Back at the Oval Office, Trump signed more orders while taking questions from reporters. Here's how it went. Full pardons and select commutations for the estimated 1,500 Americans convicted for their roles of the January 6th endeavor. The directive also orders the Bureau of Prisons to release them immediately. We hope they come out tonight, frankly, Trump said. Proclamation guaranteeing states' protection from invasion of illegal immigrants. Declaring drug cartels as terrorist organizations. Ending birthright citizenships for children of illegal immigrants, which Trump told the media he says might be challenged in court because it is a constitutional amendment 14. So take a look at that just in case. Declaring a national emergency at the southern border. Reforming hiring in the federal government to focus on merit and not DEI. Eliminating the government requirements for low-flow shower heads and toilets. Not a joke. That last one was not a joke. Trump also told the media that he expects new tariffs to go into effect starting February 1st. He also confirmed that Biden left him a letter at the desk, per tradition. In his first signing ceremony in the Oval Office, Trump gave more answers to reporters' questions than Biden did during the whole entire presidency. I don't know about the last part, but I'm just telling you what is being circulating there. So what do you think? A lot of stuff. Short time, a lot of things changed. So what do you think here? I mean, I think it's going to be interesting. I mean, I don't think that anything's going to not be interesting over the next few days.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I just received some breaking news while we're live on the air.
I don't know what happened there. How did we get some breaking news while we were live on the air? Okay, so a lot of stuff, little time, that is for sure. as we are talking. So what do you think here? I think it's going to be interesting. I look at it from the standpoint of what do you think is going to happen next, because that's going to be what the world is going to be watching. So I don't know, because I look at it from the standpoint of what happens next. What are you thinking? Because a lot of people are going to look at this and go, this is my best day ever. Some people are going to say it's my worst day ever. I don't know. I look at it from the standpoint and I go, I think it's interesting overall on how we look at it. I mean, I don't know. It's going to be a matter of time before, you're going to see a lot of the changes. I will tell you, we were going to do full speech. We talked about doing full speech in regards to doing some of this stuff, but it's 31 minutes. Don't think we can do that whole thing. So let's do this. I got something else that we can do if you're cool with this. What we will do is highlight moments from that. So that way, it's not a true main story per se, but man, is it going to get close, because we are going to straight out run out of time if I try to do that whole thing. So let's do the key moments from the speech. So I will get that over to you in this fashion. So we should see some publication info here, and let's go with it.
On Trump.
John Trump, do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States.
The office of President of the United States.
I, James David Vance, do solemnly swear.
I, James David Vance, do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
Thank you. I was saved by God to make America great again.
So right now it's playing some videos and just kind of showing you the people that are in the background, just in case for the radio listeners and the people jump in. Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos.
Sign a series of historic executive orders. With these actions, we will begin the complete restoration of America and the revolution of common sense. I will declare a national emergency at our southern border. And we will begin the process of returning millions and millions of criminal aliens back to the places from which they came. Overspending and escalating energy prices, and that is why today I will also declare a national energy emergency. We will drill, baby, drill.
That was that moment where it cut out for Carrie Underwood. They're going to do a cappella.
Beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain.
So now it's Trump and his wife coming down the stairs, and Vice President J.D. Vance.
Talk about the J6 hostages, but you'll be happy because, it's action, not words that count.
And then now you're seeing Biden and Dr. Biden get onto the helicopter and leave. So that sums it up. That is coming from The Guardian as they are hanging out with us this morning and giving us some info. So that's it. So a lot of stuff. Be prepared because it's going to be an interesting ride because it always is, regardless of who the president is.
Oops. What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You're listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
Well, you might be like me and heard all these terms and were not 100% sure on what they meant. Things is mining, blockchain, the Internet of Things. Well, I will tell you, we here at Safety FM have partnered up with a company that will explain this to you and will also have conversations to inform you on how you might have the potential of making passive income by being involved with this. All you need to do is go to safetyfm.com/iHub. They'll discuss blockchain. What exactly is mining? What is cryptocurrency? And what is the Internet of Things? To find out more information, go to safetyfm.com/iHub. That's safetyfm.com/iHub. And don't forget to mention that Jay Allen sent you.
Safety never sounded so terrible. Rated R Safety Show.
So do you feel like you're missing out on what everyone is starting to do now, that live streaming thing, and you don't know where to start or what to do? I have the resource and the information to provide to you in regards on how you can stream onto 40 social media platforms all at one time. Yes, that's 40 social media platforms all at one time. All you'll need to do is go to safetyfm.com/1. That's safetyfm.com/1. That's ONE. So just in case, and you'll be able to start live streaming just like you're hearing people starting to do right now, up to 40 social media platforms.
In order to save the planet from cow farts, why doesn't someone just invent really large gas X pills?
God, what's that awful stench? Radio.
Why'd you have to lie?
Okay, here we are. 44 minutes past the top of the hour as we are hanging out, talking, moving and grooving. You are still listening to the Rated R Safety Show. This right here is Oceanic with the song titled Skin. If you want to give it a little streamer-eamer action, little whirl, little stuff going on as we are talking. So there you go. So thanks to Oceanic for allowing us to play this here on the Rated R Safety Show. No doubt about that, as we are hanging out, doing our thing. Anyways, let me tell you about the most important thing that I will ever tell you in my lifetime, and that's about my friends at To Write Love on Our Arms. No matter what you're facing, you deserve to be connected to help. To find out more information, all you have to do is do this. Go to twloha.com and click on the section that says Find Help. Once you get there, you will come to the realization that To Write Love on Her Arms wants you to know that people have been where you are now, and healing is possible. So once you get there, if you go all the way to the far right and click on Find Help, you're going to see stuff related to addiction, depression, anxiety, eating disorders, self-injury, suicide, trauma, and grief support. That's just to name a few things that it does. So twloha.com will get you all of that information right there. To Write Love on Her Arms. So there you go. Let's continue talking about some other things that are going on inside of the multiverse, even though a lot of people don't think they are. Well, there are other things. A new report from Baby Center, yes, a site that provides info about babies and pregnancy and early childhood, has revealed its picks of the names that are falling off the popularity these days in the U.S., and some are in danger of becoming extinct. They say that, for starters, names with the royal family, Catherine, Anne, Edward, Albert, and Philip, have dropped more than 100 spots on baby name lists. Names associated with the 80s are also decreasing, with like Jamie being named the top falling girl name. Last year, Katie, Remy, Liv, and Analia are also falling fast. Millennial girls' names like Chelsea, Kelsey, Aaron, and Alexis are falling off popularity. For boys, for baby boys, Jamal tops the list of the fastest falling names. Jamal was also followed by Esteban, Cannon. I didn't realize Cannon was a guy's name. Emery and Taylor, while names and names that end with Aiden, like Jaden, were also in decline. The girls' names expected to grow most popular for the 2025 include Olivia, Amelia, Emma, Sophia, Charlotte, and for boys, Noah, Liam, Oliver, Elijah, and Mateo are all expected to be popular. The last bunch sounded like the guest list of my kid's birthday party on Saturday, and I can't imagine that Diddy is expected to set any records either. So, I mean, I don't know. Some stuff to talk about as we are moving and grooving. Yeah, moving and grooving for sure as we are doing our thingo. I don't know. What do you think? I mean, it makes it interesting. That's for sure. If anything alone, it's an interesting list of names. I can't lie about that. What else do we have going up? Should we talk about stepping? Okay, add stepping to the ever-growing list of phone apps designed to encourage people to get up off the couch and get moving. This is also a bit different, though. The things of stepping literally blocks all of your social media apps unless you walk a certain number of steps each day. The users can unblock the time their favorite social media platforms like TikTok and Instagram by achieving daily steps. The app's co-founder says that the idea was on while they were on vacation, even though he and his companions were traveling to a place with beautiful scenery that were constantly scrolling through social media. While he is aware that the apps that block social media usage, the concept of stepping isn't that it's tied to the amount of steps taken for a given day, and hope that the exercise will provide a boost to users' physical and mental aptitude. I'm not sure what I'm seeing on X lately is worth walking for any effort. I'm just saying in general. And also, I hope that this app uses better facts checkers than Zuckerberg does. So I don't know. It's going to get interesting when a lot of this stuff takes a look. No doubt about that. So I don't know. Interesting times, can't lie about that. Why don't we do this? Why don't we bring that guy that gives us motivation about things that are going on into life? So let's go ahead and bring in some John Smalls and let him tell us about the Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute is courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com and JaceCaseMedical.com.
The Motivation Minute.
Today's quote was submitted by Wade. Confucius said, "Life is really simple, but men insist on making it complicated." That's true. I'm going to add women. Sorry, ladies. My wife and I have worked together for 15 years. So we live together and we work together. So almost every decision we make is a decision that we make together. Whether it's a decision for the home, like what color to paint a wall, or a decision for work, like, where we should have our office. We work together to make these decisions. We also make most of them way more difficult than needed. She asked me to choose between 2 colors for a wall. Then she painted it. And a week later, she painted it again, the other color. Yeah.
The Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute is courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com and JaceCaseMedical.com. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your motivational quotes can be submitted for an upcoming program at motivationminute.org.
Hello, I'm Richard Exley with your 1-minute devotion. When my baby sister was born hydrocephalic, a desperate hope took up residence in our hearts. A wordless hope that sometimes found its voice in secret prayer as we wept and begged and pleaded with God for a healing. A hope that sometimes found its voice during family devotions, when we held hands and agreed as one while Daddy prayed. A hope that was sometimes so painful we couldn't speak. It just caught in our throats and felt like a heaviness in our stomachs. A heaviness that never went away. Romans 15 says, "May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace as you trust in him." Lord, help us to never lose hope. Amen. If these devotions are a blessing and an encouragement to you, you can subscribe at oneminutedevotion.com.
Here is the news on the Radio R Safety Show.
The 3 hostages released by Hamas are reported to be in stable condition, according to Professor Itai Pesak from the Safra Children's Hospital at Sheba Medical Center, who made the announcement during a televised statement.
"I'm happy to report that they are in stable condition. That allows us and them to focus on what is the most important thing, reuniting with their families. We will continue to monitor their medical condition. This will take a few more days," Pesak stated. Since the ceasefire began on Sunday morning, over 550 humanitarian aid trucks have entered Gaza. Benjamin Wright reporting.
President-elect Donald Trump's border czar has announced that the incoming administration is reviewing the potential launch of immigration removal operations in Chicago.
The decision follows a series of recent news reports suggesting that the raids might be initiated as soon as the day after Trump assumes office. "We're reviewing any plans in Chicago because of the leak," Tom Homan stated, noting that the reports could have jeopardized officer safety. Liam White reporting.
From hurricanes to major tornadoes, wildfires, and other disasters, these events don't discriminate in their impact or reach, according to the outgoing head of the nation's emergency management agency.
"We know that these types of severe weather events, they don't have borders, they don't discriminate, and we at FEMA have the ability to make sure that anyone impacted doesn't have the barriers to access our programs," stated Deanne Criswell, the outgoing Federal Emergency Management Agency administrator. Jessica Oakley reporting.
This is the latest news headlines.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who is set to become the next health secretary, called on the federal government in May 2021 to revoke the authorization of all COVID-19 vaccines.
This request came just as vaccinated Americans began to resume normal activities after the pandemic lockdowns. Kennedy and Merrill Nass submitted the request via a citizen petition on behalf of Children's Health Defense, an organization founded by Kennedy that opposes the recommended vaccine schedule for children. Kevin Sanders reporting.
Over 70 people were killed and dozens more were injured following a fuel tanker fire and explosion on a highway in central Nigeria, according to authorities.
The tragedy occurred 3 months after a similar incident in northern Nigeria, where a crashed fuel tanker explosion claimed 147 lives and injured many others who had gathered to collect leaking gasoline. Local reports indicate that the tanker involved in the latest incident was transferring gasoline to another vehicle, according to NEMA. Lawrence Keller reporting.
TikTok reactivated following President Donald Trump's announcement ahead of his second term, saying users deserve to see his exciting inauguration.
He pledged an extension that would prevent the app from remaining offline. When users opened the app, a message from TikTok read, "Welcome back. Thanks for your patience and support." As a result of President Trump's efforts, TikTok is back in the U.S. David Lang reporting.
And that's the latest news headlines with Alan Edwards.
Tearing the ass out of you like gas station sushi.
Okay, here we go. 55 minutes past the top of the hour. Let's talk about some things that happened back on this date. If I take a look back at 2009, Toyota reports it produced almost 9 million vehicles in 2008, making it the largest car manufacturer in the world. It beat out General Motors by more than 6,000 cars that year. Toyota would also post the first annual loss in company's history at the same time. That happened back in 2009. Let's talk about some birthdays that are going on today. M. Bahul turns 26. Jeremy Shatta turns 28. Bobo Stewart turns 31. Luke Grimes, 41. Maurice, the wrestler, she turns 42. Let's see, Jerry Trainer turns 48. Emma Button, 49. Gina Davis, 69. Eric Holder, 74. Billy Ocean, I almost said Billie Eilish. Billy Ocean turns 75. And Jack Nicholas turns 85 today. That's some birthdays going on. If you're looking at some days of the year to celebrate, National Squirrel Appreciation Day and National Hugging Day. Okay, good combo, I guess, in regards to what's going on. So do those things if you're so inclined to do so. Anyways, if you need a random joke for today, try this one. I make fun of my dog for getting all excited when someone opens a bag of chips, but bro, truth be told, it's the same. That's it. Okay, let's see. If you need a phone starter for today, try this. Who do you feel like you know even though you've never met them? Oh, so many names. So there you go. Let's try that one on a phone starter today. Who do you think you know but you've never met them? I think that's going to be interesting. What else? Let's see. The average person will try on 11 of these before making a purchase. What is it and what is it? Glasses. Yeah, glasses will have that on you in regards of trying so many on and not sure what to do. Anyways, that's going to end our time together. So we are donezo in regards to what we're doing. But don't worry, at the top of the hour, I will be going over to Radio Big if you want to come and hang out with me. If you don't want to go over there and you want to stay on Safety FM, you can hang out with the likes of Sheldon Primus, who I got to see this weekend, with the likes of Sheldon Primus, and he will tell you everything that's going on inside of the world of safety consulting. Okay, so there you go. Options for you. Anyways, thank you for always being the best part of Safety FM and Radio Big, and that is the listener, because without you, it makes no sense to do what we do around here. If I can't leave you with a deep thought for today, I would love to leave you with this one. We know what we are, but know not what may be. Yep, you got that. So there you go. A lot of stuff. Anyways, I know who you are. You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.
Your body tries to hide, and I don't